Hello and welcome to Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. The Major Dhyan Chand Stadium is the venue for this 9 to 12 placing qualification match between Austria and South Africa. Lovely weather here in Lucknow today. Egypt and Japan started things off for us this morning, and Japan 1-0 winners. After this match between Austria and South Africa, which should be a really good one, we have Malaysia taking on New Zealand in the second of the 9 to 12 placing qualification matches. And then rounding off the day, it is Korea against Canada, both sides looking for win number one of the Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup Men, Lucknow 2016. The South Africans have received strong support throughout the entire tournament, and it's great to see the friends and family of the young men still here waving their flags and supporting them on this journey here in India. Not too far away from the players taking centre stage here in Lucknow once more. Warmer conditions than we've seen. It's been cool of late and quite hazy and foggy. Still a little bit of haze around, but warm, pleasant conditions with a slight breeze as well. Well, here are the players, South Africa and Austria. Both of them have had pretty good tournaments, but without the spoils that they'd prefer. Hence why they're down here in the 9 to 12 placing qualification area. Austria there in the white, South Africa in the green and yellow. We welcome our dignitary for today's match. It's Mr. Mahmood Ali, Cabinet Minister, Textile and Sericulture Industries, Economics and Statistics, and Minor Irrigation, Government of Uttar Pradesh, or Statics rather, and he's escorted by Commander R.K. Shrivastava, Executive Director, Hockey India. He's escorted by Commander R.K. Shrivastava, Executive Director of Hockey India. Meeting the two captains today for Austria, it is Pip Rudovsky, no Leon Thornbaum, and for South Africa, Alex Stewart. So Rudovsky gets the captain's armband as we welcome the national anthems of both South Africa and Austria.
Ladies and gentlemen, from England, the International of South Africa.
great stuff, and we're not too far away from the beginning of this match between South Africa and Austria. My name's Will Davies, and it's great to welcome alongside me in commentary former South Africa international, former head coach of the Singapore men's team, Solomon Kasuji. Solly, great to have you in commentary as always. What are you looking forward to about this encounter between two sides who have shown quite a bit of promise?
Will, good to be here. Thanks, everybody. I think it'll be a cracking encounter between these two sides, pretty evenly matched. Probably more so than most. South Africa will have everything to do tonight. Be interesting to see how they can get themselves up after that massive physical effort against India the other night, because that was huge. Have they recovered well enough to bring the intensity? I'm sure Austria, who've been the surprise package of this tournament, will be up for it. They've had a day and a bit's rest. We look at the sides here. Austria, been a talented bunch of individuals. Lucas Glasser in goals. Petrodowski, the skipper, in number 9. He's been in outstanding form for Austria of late. Oliver Binder, he's a drag flicker. Fabian Unterkircher has also been quite creative for them in most of the games so far. Not known as one of the stars, but coached by Cedric D'Souza, the legendary Indian coach.
Yeah, his reputation precedes him, does Cedric. He's doing a great job with the Austria men's and under 21 sides. South Africa, Noluchungu gets another start in goal after being very serviceable against India. Line cachet with a couple of penalty corner goals. D'Souza and Nthuli, number 21, are two of their better players heading towards the attacking circle. There is line cachet. Mentioned a couple of penalty corners, one of which came against India. It levelled proceedings at 1-1 and South Africa chased the unlikely upset. Didn't he love it? Flexes those giant muscles. And he'll be up and about today as well if they can earn themselves some penalty corners. Some problems perhaps for Austria. We're underway here in this 9-12 classification match at the Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup Men Lucknow 2016. Austria in their white shirts with Stavra. Plays it back. Super. There is Cedric D'Souza here with the under-21 side after taking the reins of the senior Austria side earlier in 2016. Had a great tournament, huge amount of experience, and he's thrilled to see his young charges getting that. As South Africa win the ball, it's Stewart out to the far side. Bowron plays it. Ball Harlow. Harlow again. 2 halves of 35 minutes is the format being played here at this tournament, as we move towards all tournaments being played in the 4 quarters of 15 minutes. South Africa working well down that right-hand side. Delungwana looking to get them going in towards the attacking circle, but plays it back to be sure of things. South Africa have been really good in the tournament, Solly. They've won the one game and lost a couple. Your man Springs Ewing in charge.
And Garrett looking quite relaxed early on in the piece. Speaking to him earlier today, he was quite confident that his charges had the weapons to get up. Set them a few key objectives in terms of the development process that they're on. South Africa win the ball, just lose it again, but they get the free hit.
We're always well adjudicated in the world of hockey. Sebastian Michelsen from Belgium. South Africa look for their first opportunity. And Tim Bond from New Zealand. The 2 men with the whistles out on the park today. Austria go the aerial route. Well done from Kevin Koch. Wins it for D'Souza. Then it's broken up and a card is coming. It will be for Christoph Soldat, the 17-year-old. His young charges Cedric D'Souza has brought here to Lucknow.
I think the big challenge for South Africa today, Will, they come forward, got a circle entry.
Delungwana been really good. Austria just casually surround him and win it back.
Getting back to what I was just talking about a bit earlier, the challenge for South Africa today is going to be a little bit more balanced in their attacking. They generally tend to favour the left. created 26 circle entries down the left-hand side. Christopher Soldat there. Naughty chaired, 2-minute suspension for a stick tackle. And then combined, getting back, South African circle entries combined, right and centre, 27. That seems to indicate that they allow the opposition teams to press them as a result of fairly static midfield, off-ball work rate in building out of defence.
Into the D, Austria go. Nothing doing. Hopeful ball from Lindengrun, just hoping something would happen. South Africa calmly deal with it. And Delungwana outside. Ball line, Cachet. Back forward, Delungwana. Now with Ryan Crow. Bowron. The line, Cachet worked his way up towards the attacking area. And Tully will battle hard here. Runs dead, and Tully can't believe it. You're gonna have to believe it. It's Austria's ball.
Yep, young lad just has to play the whistle. Opportunities will come. He's been a passionate young fella all the way through the tournament.
Yeah, you were referring to his huge amount of talent in that India game, but he just hasn't had the clean opportunities he's desired, and maybe letting his frustrations get the better of him.
I think the bigger things for him to focus on, he just doesn't appear in much of the game. He's not as involved as you'd like him to be for a player of his ability. So if we can get him on the ball a lot more, use that ability more, then he will have less time to question umpires' decisions and wave his hand in the air.
As Austria go into the D, this is a decent manoeuvre. Kaltenbach pushing the pace. It's with Makale for South Africa. Happy to settle it down to line Cachet.
Have a look at this again. Ball carried down the baseline, just played onto the foot. Supporting runner from Austria.
Not a bad shout though. Congestion seemed to win out. There's Makale. Good experience within this under-21 setup. It's Austria's first time at the Junior World Cup. First appearance in the history of this tournament, and they've already picked up their first points. They were winners in the pool stage against Korea, 5-2, and they drew with Argentina, did Austria, as they turned that ball over. Good Cedric D'Souza, always good with his time, talking about how this young side with very little experience on the global stage, they come and beat the under-21 side, hailing from the home of the Olympic men's champions Argentina, and then the world champions Australia. They scored a couple of goals against them, so the experience has been invaluable for Austria, and it continues with every match that they get to play on the centre stage of the under-21 hockey circuit.
I think that speaks testament to where the game's gone. Coach Gareth Ewing again looking on eagerly. It's all about process. If you can stick to the process and have the discipline to be consistent at sticking to that process, you'll always get a result of some sort. It'll be a good contest between two sides. At the end of the day, though, in the 35-minute halves, I think that's the key between these two different formats. The side that's a little bit more technically superior will always get over the edge. You can certainly make them work pretty hard for it, and that's exactly what South Africa did to India the other night. Made them work really, really hard for a victory. This trap gives the ball to Austria. They come forward.
Yeah, good support with Kaltenbach again, showing some decent pace. The ball was behind Shipan, and allows South Africa to easily diffuse it, but Schmidt has the ball in towards the 23. Again, turned over Harley and Reed. Now Lungwana. Makale, it is Makale. A little bit scrappy from both sides, turning the ball over fairly regularly. No chances on goal for either team as yet. We've played 7 minutes in this opening half. Two sides in the 9th to 12th place classification process. And that difference, Solly, between finishing 9th and 12th, it might not seem like a huge amount, but on paper, when funding's looked at and the performances of teams in the near future, it does matter.
It's a huge difference in positioning. They're certainly not that everybody just sits back and takes whatever comes. So a fairly patient build-up between both these sides. You can see it's the end of a long week. Cedric D'Souza there, explaining a few subtleties of what's happening and what he wants to happen.
And for the coaches, a really good opportunity to spend an extended period of time with their young chargers, because they are the future of the programs for these countries. And it's a huge 3 years coming up on the hockey stage ahead of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games as Alex Stewart wins the ball back for South Africa. We saw Japan earlier today with a 1-0 win. It's a big 3 years for hockey in that country. Some bright young stars. Koji Yamasaki scoring the game winner, and he was the man of the match in that encounter against Egypt. Who can stand up here for either of these sides today?
See, this is what we're talking about. If you look at just how static this midfield is for South Africa, there's very little manipulation of the opponent's defensive line, either the three strikers for Austria or the midfield. There's no narrowing, there's no creating pockets of space. They're just sort of standing there waiting for the back four to get the ball to them. I know it's the end of a long week and legs are tired and all that sort of stuff, but you've just got to do the hard yards, unfortunately. Got to be a little bit more creative than that.
South Africa's skipper, Alex Stewart, joined by Courtney Harley on the bench. Spoke about earlier that Pit Rudovsky is wearing the captain's armband for Austria, and that is courtesy of Leon Thornblom, who has a fractured ankle, we are informed. So unlikely to play any part in the remainder of the tournament. So it's a shame for Leon and for Austria. We wish him a speedy recovery. I believe it's not too serious as far as fractures go. South Africa out of defence again. Delungwana outside to Crow. Scored in both of their opening matches. Goes with Ntuli. Out of play, long corner for South Africa. Here is Garreth Ewing, pressing his point to his young team. Ntuli, can he get himself on the board in this tournament? Runs it down the baseline into the D, just outside the infringement. Remains South Africa's ball. Delungwana has it, needs to move it 5 or pass it. Goes to Ntuli. South Africa with a slim opportunity through Tevin Cock, and no deal.
A good bit of play there by Ntuli. Just the problem was that the rest of his teammates had no idea what he was up to. Tevin Cock caught napping, just a fraction behind the play. Reaction was too late. I think getting back to Garreth Ewing, you saw him sort of pleading with his athletes on the bench. I think he's just trying to get a little bit more energy up them. Got to want it a little bit more. I'd like to see them step up and apply some more pressure here. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you are going to apply a press, put some pressure on, do it early on in the piece, gives you time. If you expose yourself, it gives you time to settle down again. Maybe just have a try for 5 minutes and see how that works, and then come back to a sort of passive three-quarter, half-court.
Yeah, and offer support for Ntuli, because he has been lively to start and known to create things from not much, but does need some help as Austria deep in their attacking area. Here's Rudovsky. Scored a pair of goals against Korea in the pool stages. It's super. Into the D, Austria go. Nulut Shungu, who's directing traffic as well as dealing with the imposing and impending threat.
Really good ball in. Free man not closing the hotline. Hotline ball from the direct line from the ball to the center of the goals. Leaving it fairly well exposed. We hit to South Africa.
Here's Remke with line cachet. Through to Souza, down towards Crow. It was a handy piece of work from Safa. And Austria win it back.
Souza looking just to accelerate the moments a little bit. Just brought a little bit more energy, but Austria up the other end will.
Yeah, potential chance here for the Austrians. The shot comes. That is fantastic work from Lindengrun. He's always threatening when he gets a little bit of space, and Franz Lindengrun opens the scoring for Austria. Scored once versus Korea and also versus Australia, and he trebles up here at the Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup Men Lucknow 2016.
Good ball over the top, but you'd have to say some pretty awful defence. It's just way too passive by South Africa. Fortunately there was Courtney Haller. Just didn't apply any pressure, and I think this is actually something I've noticed through this whole tournament. A lost skill, lost art is the ability to use the jab tackle. We haven't seen too many jab tackles out there, and he could have just been getting the jab tackle in there, it allows you to keep your distance, but also keeps the attacker's head down, keeps him honest. Lindengren there, able to just run the ball and tap it in past the goalkeeper. Very passive, really soft goal. South Africa won't be happy with that.
Yeah, Austria setting things up really well now, and they've got to spring in their step understandably. Friends and family, South Africa watch on. Their side needs to chase the game. A slow start against England in their tournament opener. Lost 4-2, but England were 3-0 up after 11 minutes. They look back on that one, really is a case of what might have been in the tournament. South Africa could have held on during the start of that one. England and flying out of the blocks. South Africa then beat Canada 3-1 and lost 2-1 against India. So they were in all of those contests. Be keen to try and finish well. They're trailing 1-0. Chungu lays it onto his stick, handles it well. Mihala over. Fine cachet. Skips out Remke and goes to Alex Stewart. Stewart into the attacking quarter. All Austrian shirts ahead of him though, and unsurprisingly they win.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where you're just locked into one side of the pitch, not able to change direction. Needed a few more midfield transfers. Look to get a posting up central striker in the 45 angles, or go towards your centre half on the inside channel. Just to open the field up, try and distribute from more central. Gives you more angles.
Austria 1-0 up against South Africa. In defence, Steyra. Now with Schmidt. Back into the heart of defence. Steyra again. Works his way around Ntuli. Now takes on Julius and can't beat him. To Ryan Julius for South Africa. Plays it outside for De Souza. Down into the corner for Makale. Makale battling hard. On corner for South Africa. Have they got an equaliser here in the mid stages of the opening half? De Souza against Hilbert. Go back for Stewart. Stewart taking the game on. Plays it into Julius. Julius looking for space. He persists and can't get the shot away, so Austria holding to the task and win the ball. Really nice work from Stewart into the D. Makale just couldn't get the shot away.
Really good opportunity for South Africa. Good carry down the baseline. Popped into the hot spot in the danger zone there. But just individual again. You watch the other strikers, all the other South Africans standing watching. Nobody desperate to get in there and actually make themselves available. Pop in front of defenders. Waiting for the ball to spill loose. Looking for rebounds and deflections and all sorts of things.
Here's a decent opportunity. They were making a real mess of it, were Austria. Walter Pfaff has it for South Africa at the moment. Stewart with room, puts a shot on goal, and it's saved by Glazer. Makale and Glazer tangle, just stopping the clock by Sebastian Michelsen, making sure everyone's okay.
That was a really good ball through. Just the 3D skills used, getting the ball up in there. Shot on goal, equally good, as was the goalkeeper. Gets a big left boot onto that.
Purple patch for South Africa. Julius with the first almost opportunity, but couldn't get the shot away, and then Stewart with a nice shot. So South Africa trying to take the game on at the moment. Courtney Harler. Waits goes with line cachet. Just smashes it towards the D. Bouncing ball. He's allowed to run through the D, but Carlo Remke wasn't able to get onto the end of it. You see passionate supporters having the best of times here at the Major Jun Chun Stadium in Lucknow.
Enjoying the balmy weather. Best weather we've had in a few days. Nice and toasty. Air's clean today, relatively.
And Austria leading 1-0. Rudowski was alone in the centre. Binder plays it in towards the D. Abel wasn't able to bring the ball down. Bond keeping an eye on things. Lindengrun, the goal scorer, wasn't he providing some highlights? There's Binder. Bring it in, and young Abel closed the legs beautifully. Couldn't bring the ball down.
Definitely no LBW.
Austria, well, geez, it's not going to work all that well. Super failing to make proper connection. Longwana leaves it behind. Carlo Remke for Reed. Side for Harler. Sides he likes Reed.
And the ball speed around the back for South Africa, rather pedestrian. Got to move that ball with a little bit more purpose to get around the outside of a press. They come down the left-hand side again, but the defense has slid. 4 South Africans against 6 or 7 Austrians, South African fans.
Here's Walter Pfaff. He's created a fair bit this tournament. Makale front and centre. Good defending from Austria. Alive to the danger and swarmed in. Get it away. Ronnie Harler at the drop of the ball.
Really promising attack for South Africa again. Get back to that at some point in the future.
Remke in towards the feet of Hilbert. So they've looked threatening, South Africa, of late. They need to find that equaliser, and Tully takes them on. Works with D'Souza. Strong from Binder. D'Souza going hard. Now Stewart and Remke. Settling it down, South Africa, looking to make sure of things and stretch Austria around the park. And into that right corner. Nice work again from South Africa. Dulungwana, wonderful work from Dulungwana. D'Souza levels things up for South Africa. Dulungwana with the go-go gadget limbs. He kept the ball at the end of the stick and persisted. D'Souza was there in support, and South Africa leveled things at 1 apiece.
A bit of individual brilliance by Dulungwana. Gets this ball around the outside, beats the first defender with some good three-dimensional skills. Ball falls kindly for him, good control again. And just pops it into the space for it to be tapped into the goals by Matthew D'Souza. With the easiest of finishes, eliminates 5 or 6 defenders and the goalkeeper for popping it in. Matthew D'Souza with a good finish there. South Africa back into this. Let's hope they get some energy into themselves now. They've seen what they can do with sustained pressure. The fans go crazy. Mums and dads all over the place.
Lawrence Clemon for Austria. We saw him get absolutely hammered by D'Souza. A little bit of collateral damage. He's come from the pitch. Looks okay, Lawrence Clemon. D'Souza is a solid young man. Clemon found that out the hard way. Austria looking for goal number 2. Lindengrun, who scored their opener. Battling hard in support from the 17-year-old Soldat. The game's alive, no doubt about that. South Africa have had a very strong 5-minute period, and it's good to see them get the reward for their effort. In defence, we're with Jason Reed. Now Tyler Remke. Remke down the line for Nkule. Man's dead. Really have lifted South Africa, and Austria need to just settle things down themselves.
South Africa have just had the lion's share of the possession of late. 8 circle entries they've created so far, compared to the 3 from Austria. I think if they're smart in a game of this nature, where it's the end of the week, make sure you've got reward from those circle entries. Get some penalty corners. Use the ability of line cachet. Gives you time to rest the legs while also having shots at goal. 7-on-4 attacking opportunity effectively is a penalty corner, so you should always get a relatively decent opportunity to get a shot away.
I don't mind those odds. Here's Crow. Another of South Africa's potent attacking weapons in this tournament. Needing to keep a close eye on Dulungwana. He's had a strong start to this one. Vice captain of the side. And Thule looking for Crow. Binder uses the size well. Controls it. Now protects it. And Thule yapping at his heels. Binder just slaps it down the sideline. Solid from him. One of the leaders of this side.
Really like that lead from Thule. Like to see a little bit more of that around the circle. Just that he needs the rest of his team to come with him and play off his shoulder.
Fence. Limbethe. Side. Crow can't get on the end of the ball from Harla. Wrong corner for South Africa. 11.5 minutes remaining here in this one, in the first half. Ahead of tomorrow, it's quarter-finals day. 4 mouth-watering encounters at this Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup Men Lucknow 2016. Start with Belgium and Argentina, followed by Germany and England. Liking the sound of those? Well, how about Australia, Netherlands? And then to finish the day off, India up against Spain. They've really come into their own performance through this tournament so far. This one though, Austria, South Africa, locked at 1 apiece. 2 really solid goals as well. The first one from Lindengrun. A nice piece of individual work, and then De Souza able to follow up some really good individual work from Dulungwana. Africa has the bulk of possession of late, but Austria maybe on the counter, looking for their chance. Unterkircher controlling the ball. Unterkircher loses the handle, plays it outside for Soldat, and it trickles out of play.
Here's the first goal. Good. Just carrying the ball all the way around the outside. No real pressure on him, FRANZ Lindengren. South Africa equal to the task at the other end. Dulungwana eliminated 5 or 6 before popping the ball onto the reverse deck for Matthew De Souza to just tap it home gently.
Austria into the attacking 23. Ball played in towards the D, handled competently by Dulungwana. Now with Bowron, goes for Julius. On Julius, in this left side, good ball for Latuka. Latuka into the attacking circle, stick on the ground from Super. Wins possession. Good run from Latuka. Broken up by Limbethe.
Give you a little lesson in some of our native languages back home in South Africa, Will.
Yeah, please do.
Lembete.
Thanks for letting me know that off air. That's great. Would have been nice earlier in the tournament.
That's okay, mate. Got to keep something for the end of the week.
Certainly appreciated. Is Fath. Austria. With Abel. Decent ball. Kaltenbach. Hold on to that one. Kahala. Or Dulungwana. That far side. Here come South Africa again. And there it goes.
Missed trap on the baseline. Soft turnover. Worked really hard to get the ball there. Enterprising play down the right-hand side. They're getting to that T-spot quite nicely. Just not able to capitalise as often as they'd like. This is better, putting more pressure on Austria. Really good rebounds. Deflections.
And it deflects up the line, Cachet. Goes with Bowron. Now with Julius. Julius has room to take on. Julius pins the ears back, plays it down for Makale. Julius comes into lender hand. Makale running down the baseline. Julius losing his footing. And Bond presiding over the situation. Julius as Walter Pfaff into the D. Played up. Balls for a penalty corner from South Africa. Nothing doing. Schmidt has the ball. And now the penalty corner has been given.
Umpire Tim Bond, the off-ball umpire, signalling for the penalty corner. Ball came off the body. Ball was played in. Trap wasn't controlled. Raised the body. That was the soft penalty corner. South Africa will take it. There we go.
Line Cachet is at the top of the D, marking out his space. He himself said he's a big young man and he's scored a couple of goals already in this tournament. In it comes, and Line Cachet's poised. It's well charged down and deflected out of play.
Took a deflection off the number one runner, went for a long corner. Didn't quite get hold of it. Just wasn't trapped clean. A little bit bouncy, difficult to pick it up off the penalty corner drag flick. Needs that ball to be stationary. Fair bit of argy-bargy going on inside the circle. Everybody trying to command their space.
Bit going on. Line Cachet, no one will be mucking with him. That's the ball. Walter Pfaff. Fahala. Aaron having his pocket picked. Indo. Radowski. Nice work from Radowski, and down that outer side, Austria goes SOLDAT. Handing possession back over. Lindengrun a little bit upset.
Don't quite know what to make of this Austrian side, Will. Whether they're tired, or whether it's just a cagey ploy to have a real dip in the second half, but pretty much every time they come forward, they're only attacking with 3, leaving 7 back. Saving the legs for the second half, or too worried about South Africa's counter-attacking prowess?
Yeah, we'll watch this space. Certainly an interesting observation. And absolutely no one forwards in support here. Any of these loose balls that get sent out of the defensive deep, picked up again by South Africa, and the shot from Ntuli is wide and high and wild.
Scrappy. This is a really good ball in, well controlled. He's eliminated the defender, had all the time in the world, and that should have been a better finish. You've got to go to the second post. You've got somebody sitting there waiting for a deflection. Just go to the second post instead of trying to score on the reverse deck from a dodgy angle, which has got a slim success rate. Unless your name's Jamie Dwyer, of course, in which case every angle's a good angle.
4.5 remain. D'Souza plays it for Courtney Reid, and or Crow rather, and they win a penalty corner. Ryan Crow down outside of the D. This is what South Africa want. Talk about circle entries and penalty corner opportunities. They've got another one.
Good positioning by Crow around the outside. Just a cynical tackle. Early in the piece, ball was rolling onto his stick, and the defender's given him a bit of a hip charge, and Oliver Banda, he's a unit as well, this fella.
Yeah, a lot of size about Binder, and he'd love to be down the other end, looking to try and score from a penalty corner. He's one of their main weapons. Speaking of weapons, Line Cachet giving himself a real launch pad. They avoid Line Cachet and they score through Courtney Harler. No one was paying Harler any attention, and South Africa take the lead here in this one. They lead 2-1, and Courtney Harler, the man that gives them the lead.
Yeah, the first thing for these penalty corner opportunities is to get past the number one runner. They've set up well, got him running to the left-hand side, and then just move that number one battery closer to the goalkeeper's right side. got it back outside him. You'd have to say a howler from the goalkeeper, though. Should have been easily saved by Glasser. Got it inside of the kicker, straight at him, inside of the left kicker, and into the goals. Not one he'd be happy to have a look at afterwards.
And Courtney Harler playing his part in this South African charge. They're coming again at Austria. They've scored the last 2 goals. Here's Julius. Lovely control from Julius, keeping that stick busy. An important contribution from Clement. Now with Abel. D'Souza burrowing in behind him. Kevin Koch lends a hand. South Africa win the ball. D'Souza for Crow. Crow battling well. Bushama trying to win it back. Here's Ntuli. Austria win the ball.
Austria with the 16-yard, courtesy of a ball shielding situation. They come over the top again with Binder.
Almost fortuitous for Unterkircher. Can't control it. There are a few South African shirts surrounding him, though. Stewart plays it outside for D'Souza. They cut through the midfield. It's worked out pretty well. Crow has it. Nice touch by Lambete.
That's better, Will. There you go. You're doing such a good job with all the other names. I didn't think I had to educate you. But you've picked it up pretty good, mate.
Not for want of trying. Certainly plenty of education needed. Ryan Crow's a little bit worse for wear. Says that he needs a substitution. Very proppy on that left ankle. Usually with ankles, when they're bad, you know it straight away. Ryan Crow very slow to take his direction off.
They've just tickled him on the inside of the knee by the looks of things. Look at this. Bang. There it is. Oh.
Yeah, the left ankle.
He's really gone over the left ankle there.
Yeah, that's ligaments all over that one.
Well, should be okay. Just that initial jar.
Yeah, they're never nice to watch. Right over on that left ankle. Still very gingerly. He works his way towards the bench. South Africa looking for number 3. And Ntuli into the D. They close down his space. Latuka taking on a couple and losing out. Really nice work from Unterkircher. And Austria, they've got 55 seconds to manufacture a leveller. Alex Stewart, the South African skipper's off. 2-minute suspension for him. He's been given a green card. There's Stewart. You see the colour-coordinated mouth guard. With Latuka. Ntuli, wonderful turn from Ntuli.
Again, his favourite word, Mr. Umpire. At least he knows who the bloke in the red shirt is.
And they're working out who he is pretty quickly as well. Koch plays it onto the foot. Evan Koch, he's done some nice things in this game. Had a reasonable tournament, and he flashes it across the D. Great ball. No one able to take advantage as we count down towards half-time. See no further play as Austria take their time to bring it back into play. Well, they opened the scoring in the first half of this one, did Austria. FRANZ Lindengrun with a solo effort, which was spectacular. Scores were levelled through Matthew D'Souza. And then Courtney Harler put South Africa 2-1 up via a penalty corner, which is how they go in towards half-time. South Africa 2, Austria 1.
This is a classification match between Austria and South Africa, the position between 9 to 12. Spirituality, the ultimate destination for pilgrims and
Welcome to the land of fine taste. A place where traditions thrive. Craftsmanship finds expression. The culinary skills carry a royal legacy. Aromas of diplomatic delicacies add flavors to life. Uttar Pradesh, a magical land of crafts and cuisine.
Some spectacular shots here at the major Jianshan Stadium in Lucknow. It's half-time between South Africa and Austria, and South Africa lead 2-1. FRANZ LINDENGRUN opened the scoring, and then D'Souza's field goal, followed by Harler's penalty corner strike, gave South Africa the advantage. The first half highlights, here is Lindengrun. South Africa just sat off him and he made them pay. Wonderful control from Lindengrun, some 3D skills. He took the ball off the pitch and brought it down well initially after Binder's aerial ball. Lindengrun working his way down half of the pitch here at the major Jianshan Stadium and beats Nolut Shungu. All ends up. South Africa won't enjoy watching that one back. We certainly do, because it's a terrific piece of skill from Lindengrun and gave Austria the 1-0 lead. Yeah, really accomplished work from him. Alex Stewart tried to get South Africa going. Ryan Julius kept control well, just couldn't get the shot away. But it was really nice from Stewart into the D. Julius couldn't get the shot away. Some good defence from Austria. Walter Pfaff has been busy in this tournament. Goes for Stewart. A good shot from Stewart here. Well saved by Austria's goalkeeper, Glaser. Makale getting tangled up with Glaser. No harm, no foul. Good save from Glaser. Left kicker gets out. Bang, off it goes. No one there for the rebound. And here was some wonderful work from Tulungwana. Persistence pays off for South Africa. D'Souza, a really strong presence, front and centre in the heart of the goal. Ndulungwana gets it to D'Souza, smashes into Clement, gets the ball into the goal, scores a level here. Dyson Ndulungwana, the vice-captain of South Africa. D'Souza, look at Clement. D'Souza taking a couple of players out. Clement goes flying, and D'Souza able to tap it home for South Africa. The scores were level at this point, 1 goal apiece, and South Africa's fans were thrilled. D'Souza with a couple of goals in this tournament. And here's the penalty corner. Courtney Harler, really nice strike from him. Everybody's eyes were on Kyle Lyon Cachet. Ndulungwana's weren't. He set it up for D'Souza, and Courtney Harler putting everything he had into that shot, and he puts his side 2-1 up. His first goal of the tournament, and a nice shot. Glazer got a piece of it, but unable to get all of it, and it goes in to give South Africa a 2-1 lead in the opening half. The stats for the opening half: 3 shots on target for South Africa, but 10 circle entries indicates their weight of possession. Slightly edging Austria, but having the better of the time when they're going towards their attacking area. Let's head out towards Manoj Jolly, who has found himself some familiar friends.
Well, then I'll tell you what, wearing these glasses, I feel like as if I'm in South Africa already. South African fans with me, enjoying each and every moment. And I have with me Courtney Hall's dad. How did you feel when he scored the second goal for South Africa?
Immensely proud, big moment.
And how were you feeling when Austria went up?
Awful, awful, but we come back. We'll come back.
And I have Charlie's dad with me. And my dear friend Solomon Kasuji went to the same school where Charlie went, the Grahamstown School.
Yes, I believe they were both at St Andrews in Grahamstown. That's where Charles learnt his hockey, and I guess Solly as well.
I tell you what, they produce some good players, good coaches, and good commentators too. Solly must be delighted.
I'm sure they must be, yes.
Right then, what do you think should be the strategy of the South Africans now? I know it's difficult to digest that they're playing the classification games and not up front in the quarterfinals.
All we need to do is settle down, and it'll all come for us. We just haven't found our straps yet. We'll make it happen.
I'm just wondering, there's no compliment for me for wearing these South African glasses.
Oh, it's on its way from up here, Manoj. Wonderful, wonderful stuff from you as always. Hey, spent a bit of time with the South African fans. He's among friends down there. Great to see. Solly's even getting a wrap as well. Almost ready for the second half of this one. South Africa are leading 2-1. Austria now chasing the game after opening the scoring early on. Back underway in this 9-12 classification match between South Africa and Austria. Austria in the white shirts, trailing 2-1. Is Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup Men Lucknow 2016. South Africa, courtesy of guess who, Dyson Ndulungwana, getting things moving early. Ndulungwana, wonderful turn. Gives it away clumsily, crashes into the Austrian defence. And possession over with Binder. South Africa still with a man down. Alex Stewart still serving his green card infringement, and Binder goes short for Maya. For Binder. Deep into defence, so Stader goes back for Binder. Over the top. Nice ball from Binder, well handled by CHRISTOPH SOLDAT. Soldat up against Ntuli, and Ntuli wins out and takes on about 3 or 4 of them. And then the 5th in Binder. Ntuli just used him to slow himself down come the finish. And Binder goes aerial again. Doesn't really work out for them. Lindengrun, the goal scorer, had no support.
Some Kiwi fans in the stands. They've travelled a long way. They'll wait patiently for the next game. New Zealand playing against Malaysia. That'll be a cracking encounter. It's all about this one.
Binder.
Coffee Warmwill.
Over the ball. Austria looking for the equaliser. Won't come here. Ryan Crowe tripped up. Unterkircher, the 18-year-old there, number 10. Liked what we've seen from him. Not a big man, still growing into things. See the shirt. It's dwarfing him. D'Souza against Schmidt. D'Souza against Schmidt. D'Souza against Schmidt, and D'Souza wins out. And Tully into the D. Delungwana called for the penalty corner. He should have played the whistle and watched the ball because it allowed Austria to escape their defensive area.
Yeah, South Africa definitely the brightest starts of the two sides. Still waiting to have a look at this Austrian side, really see if they step out. It really does appear that they've lost their legs. Two heavy encounters they had against Australia and Argentina in their pool seem to have taken it out of them. South Africa seem to be the fresher of the two sides here.
D'Souza showing some nice skill. Playing with South Africa stewards. Back onto the pitch he goes for Cock. Can't quite control the ball. Shipan. Nothing hard. Delungwana gets those long arms involved. Binder, some size of his own. Nervous for everyone around Binder when he looks to wind up like this. For Bushama. Retreats and D'Souza goes with him. Bushama getting himself a little tangled up. Accomplished work from him. Rudovsky was sitting off. Bushama leaves it behind. With Schmidt for Austria. Cuts it through for Binder. A nice pass. Binder doesn't have a huge amount of support and goes back. Austria. Well, I was about to say they've been patient and they hand the ball over far too easily. Stewart has it, gets set. Now for Delungwana. Having a terrific game here. Fans. Watching on Ryan Crowe.
Taylor the tape will. 11 circle entries to South Africa as they get another one and a penalty corner from it.
South Africa.
They can convert this one. Main mountain to climb for Austria. It's already looking pretty big. A really good enterprising bit of play. Balibaran with the ball in onto the foot. Austrian defender, can't quite make out who it was. Very soft penalty corner. Again, you take them when they come.
Yeah, they've been a decent avenue towards goal for South Africa all tournament. Hala and Lion Cachet. Poised and ready. This time Lion Cachet. And this time saved. Nolochungu down the other end watches his counterpart Glazer. Saved that one. South Africa coming back towards the attacking circle. D'Souza. Standing firm. Here's Lion Cachet. Decent shot, well saved by Glazer.
Here's done well, there's Glazer. Pretty difficult space. Lion Cachet again with that late whip to the right-hand side. Goalkeeper's right, attacker's left. Got some penalty corner of variation options freely available. It's a very narrow Austrian defense. Little deflection on the right-hand side. Goalkeeper's right, attacking left. Is wide open. Little slip to the one left is wide open as well. I'll be looking at the slip to the one left and coming back at the far post.
They still trail 2-1 to Austria. With Unterkircher in and through the D. Kaltenbach was in and ready. Decent pressure from South Africa in defence. Earlier today, as we see Japan 1-0 against Egypt. Talking about encounter you're certainly looking forward to, which follows this one between New Zealand and Malaysia. New Zealand, heartbreaking for them to miss out on a spot in the quarterfinals. Spain, so dogged as they pursued a third goal to level things up.
And at the halftime break, Will, something's happened we didn't quite pick up on. Just seen that now. Robert McKinley is on in the goals for South Africa. He's replaced the legend that has been in goals so far for them, Tiavuya Nolochungu. He's been fantastic.
South Africa just making sure of things in defence. See Austria's results on the ticker. Had a really promising tournament for them. 1-1 with Argentina. They won 5-2 against Korea, and then 4-2 was the result against Australia. Binder scored a couple of goals in this tournament. South Africa's results, a real case of almost for South Africa. If they had have been switched on early against England and not conceded 3 goals in the first 11 minutes, given the way that they played against India, it did show that they were here and very capable of challenging the better sides, but they only so far have the 3-1 win against Canada to show for things. And pride is one thing, but results speak volumes.
Yeah, if only they'd got out of bed a bit earlier in that game against England, or giving them a bright start. England jumped off to a 3-goal lead early on in the piece. Within 10 minutes or so, 11 minutes. South Africa with a long corner. I think there was a green card for Austria.
And with Lembeto. South Africa, well, they're coasting a little bit at the moment. They look pretty comfortable out there. Not a huge amount of urgency. Austria at the same time aren't showing too much themselves. Just allowing South Africa to dictate things a little bit. Lembeto. Plays it back for Reed. Takes them on. Unterkirch's shown a huge amount and wins the ball for Austria. And trots up towards the attacking half of the pitch, hoping his side can manufacture something. Unterkirch off camera is getting tangled up with Jason Reed. There is a huge heart in young Fabian Unterkirch, and it's great to see it on show here at the Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup Men Lucknow 2016. Rudowski, Austria's captain today, turns the ball over. Walter Pfaff assisting well. Wins the ball, plays it back for Lembeto. Now Alex Stewart. Outside for Tyler Remke. On Cachet, smashes it in towards the D. South Africa with a chance. Makale. Not Makale, Latuka rather. Can't get the shot away. Austria able to get away.
Ball played in. Just a couple of missed traps, not kindly. It was just Latuka. First touch, that one there, where his stick was held back. Didn't allow him to get back onto the ball and control it as well, but equally good was Glazer. Get off his line. He read that pretty well. Came out, smothered it.
Nguana to the feet of Binder. Binder takes it away. Rolls it really nicely. Binder then loses his footing. Remains Austria's ball. Big Oliver Binder. Now with Kaltenbach. Into the D, Kaltenbach goes. No support at all for Austria. South Africa win the ball. De Souza has hit the deck and stayed down, and Thule. And Thule going, needs to get it out to Julius, who has a huge amount of space, and Thule held it too long. Julius does what he can, but Glazer snuffed out the chance.
Yeah, we'll have another look at this again. Thule just looking for the hero pass there, but earlier on in the piece, if we take that movement back, you'd see Julius is wide open on the left, and Thule should have given it to him and then made that lead through the middle to get it back down the line himself. That's the folly of youth. As they develop, he'll learn. get better, make some better decisions.
Austria taking a crack at that aerial ball. Abel has it. Stewart wins it back. Binder's favoured that aerial ball time and time again. It seems to be working for them. They can't capitalise on the possession, and Dooley track slipping. It's getting tangled up with Super as well, who didn't enjoy the confrontation. Ryan Crowe in towards Koch, and Koch loses the handle. Out of play. A bit scrappy.
Really simple ball into Koch. Should have done a lot better with that one. He's had a bright start the second half, hasn't Thule? Into the game a lot more. Exactly what we asked for in the first half.
Here's Binder. That boxes Crowe. Binder's been good. Real defensive general for Austria. Julius has a huge amount of space. Ryan Julius using his acceleration well. Now has to stop and plays it back. Barron. Over for Dulunguana. Line Cachet waxes with Dulunguana. Dulunguana for Ntuli. Ntuli has line Cachet. Line Cachet in for Dulunguana. Runs dead. Dulunguana's filthy with himself.
That's much better play by South Africa. I like seeing that. Good decisions made flowing through the midfield. Initially there were 3 South Africans up against 5 Austrian defenders. They just opted to recycle the ball and wait till they had good enough structure to come forward as a compact unit.
Really nice interplay between those South African players down outside the circle, making sure the Austrian defenders were honest. Here's Ryan Crowe, and there's big Oliver Binder, trying to keep Austria well and truly in this contest. Austria out of defence, and Bethe bring the ball back.
Parents on the edge, living every moment of this game.
Well, here's a chance for Austria. If they can control it their away, it's Shipan. Needed just to tap it towards the D. Now goes back. It's Bushama. Bushama controlling it well. Austria up against it though. Numbers with South Africa. Abel in towards the D. Alex Stewart with Tyler Remke in support have won the ball back. It was tidy from South Africa. Really nice opportunistic ball for Austria. Almost brought it down. Julius. The ball. Mbete. Makale. South Africa now. Chance with Tuka. Turned over with Lindengrun. They're exchanging opportunities at either end of the turf.
We'll have a look at the second goal from South Africa here. Flick off the top, absolute howler by the goalkeeper. Just falling backwards, got his weight all over the place. And there's his dad. He's a happy camper, watching on eagerly, very proud of his son's achievement.
Yeah, a lot to like. Here's Lambeto. That's Latuka rather. Latuka into the D. Yeah, Latuka, Lambeto, Tevin Koch, they haven't been the most prominent players in previous games, but they've had a good showing here in this one. Really coming into things. Austria looking for goal number 2. They haven't looked all that likely. Only the 4 circle entries for the entire game. Radowski, the skipper. Thornblom is on the pitch. Thornblom with the fractured ankle. We were told that if they needed him, he could play. We raised our eyebrows too, given the fact his injury was diagnosed as a fractured ankle. There he is. Leon Thornblom on the pitch with a fractured ankle.
Yeah, he's out there. I'm struggling to believe it's fractured. Bit of gamesmanship going on there.
Oh, wide ball. Comes in. Outside of the D, no goal. Yeah, Thornblom, heroic. And Stewart is down. We've seen a couple of ankle injuries. Crow went over on his, he kept it warm and played on. Alex Stewart, a little bit proppy, he'll come from the pitch. Sure, we'll see him again.
Ball cracked in dangerously.
That applause you can hear is for South Africa's skipper, Alex Stewart. And Thornblom into the action straight away. Nobody in support, and Lion Cache able to break it up. Comes Hilbert. Thornblom says, I'll take it. There's the Malaysian team, ready for their match against New Zealand. Ali Bowron, he doesn't get injured, and if he does, he keeps playing 4 full seasons without missing a game for his first 11 in high school, as Binder plays it into the D. The first 11 you know all too well, Solomon Kasuji. Charlie Bowron was captain of St Andrews. Were you as well?
No, mate. I only managed to get the vice captaincy gig once upon a long ago.
This is awkward all of a sudden. Binder's ball in, untouched inside the attacking circle, no goal. Should I have checked that with you off air, Solly?
Not at all, Will.
Okay, great.
Not everybody can be a captain, mate. Some of us have to play a supporting role, much as I do to you, all through the comms.
Now, we both know that's not true. Here's Dlungwana. Tawny Hala back for Dlungwana. It's been a privilege to hear some of the stories coming out of the South African camp. Manish Jolly doing some superb work around the major Jan Chan Stadium here in Lucknow. Cedric D'Souza watching on. What's he got up his sleeve here, trying to get them back into this contest. They've been chasing the game and effectively chasing South Africa all around the park, pretty much since Lindengrun's goal early in the opening half. Thornblom's on, and Austria have tried to rise on the back of his presence. You can see Thornblom then charging towards the D. Jason Reed against Binder. Thornblom wins the ball, takes it off the turf. Nervous watching Thornblom. Must be all right though. It must be the smallest of fractures we've seen if he's moving as well as he is.
I think these South African lads need to be a little bit more careful here in terms of game management. Just a fraction too early in the piece with 15 minutes still to go to be looking to run the clock down. Still have to play positive hockey, a long way to go. The best form of defense in this case is to go and attack.
Kaltenbach taking it around the outer side, keeps it in. Look at the shirts from South Africa. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect defensive line. Ryan Crow down for Makale. Makale in towards the D. No support for him. He doesn't need it. Gets it in towards the heart of the D where Ntuli was. Glazer came flying out, loses his helmet. Makale lost his stick. It was all happening, but there was no goal.
Yeah, really good ball around the outside by Crow. Finds an unmarked striker. Eliminates the goalkeeper. Equal to the task, and South Africa have scored. While we're watching that, didn't see the build-up to it.
3-1 the score for South Africa. Ryan Crow looks like he gets his 3rd goal of the tournament, and also South Africa's 3rd goal here today. They've been the better of the two sides of late, no doubt about that, South Africa. Ntuli gets a shot towards goal. Ryan Crow with the deflection. The goal is given. Wonderful turn from Ntuli. Finally is able to provide the assist.
Timely goal for South Africa. Very important stage of the game for them. Still a fair bit of hockey to go. That just gives them an extra bit of a buffer. For me, I'd like one more. Ryan Crow, 3 tournament goals thus far. South Africa come forward again, but just turn it over. Austria bang out a long ball, trying to play 2 high strikers. South Africa have kept 3 back, which is good. Crow on the ball.
And Crow again. Smashes it in towards Koch. Binder chasing hard, trying to keep it in. Can't do so. And Tooley here to pick it up. Yeah, Crow's been really good. He scored South Africa's second goal against England, also scored against Canada, and now against Austria to give them a 2-goal buffer. Koch, really nice from him, and Tooley able to get himself another shot towards goal.
Really good effort by Tooley, but just travelling a little bit too quickly. And as the old saying goes, speed kills. Just needed to slow down and get that ball under control, get his eyes up. Start coming back towards the centre of the goal a little bit more.
It's South Africa harassing Austria and Thornblom. With push arm up. And a card will come for South Africa. D'Souza on his way to the naughty chairs yet again. He's the most penalised player in the tournament, Matthew D'Souza. Came in today having been shown 4 green cards through pool play. He's got himself another 2 minutes on the bench. Here he is, Matthew D'Souza. Doesn't mind an enforced rest. Puts the fingers towards the chin.
Here we have the green card again. D'Souza just leaving the stick hanging in. Fraction. Frustrating the Austrians.
Austria, what have they got? Oh, Thornblom. Into the D, Thornblom. Thornblom looking for options and nobody there. Thornblom has really lifted Austria since coming onto the pitch. They've missed him. He's been among their best all through the tournament. And if they can just be on the end of great work like this, they'll soon have the answers.
Good carry by Thornblom, defence just backing off him. Playing it into the 7-yard spot, but everybody had rushed across to the ball side. Getting rather physical out here. Crow finds himself with a yellow card.
Yeah, there's a lot of chip really building. Crow, can't believe it, but he'll have to fly across to the bench and join Matthew D'Souza. So 9 plays 11 at the moment for Austria. Crow's tried to sit down on Austria's bench. He'll be off for 5. 16-6 the circle entries. Now's the time for Austria though, Solly. They really need to manufacture something.
I think the umpire wants to have a word with the South African captain, Ryan Crow's given the umpire a bit of chip on the way out after getting the yellow card. So he's going to serve a 5-minute suspension.
Tim Bond having a word with Lungwana. So Solly, just asking him to have a word to his team, get them to settle down. Lungwana, the vice captain. Binder, is it outside? Schmidt into the, well, in towards the D. Barron was in the way. Schmidt loses the handle. Barron pursues him. Schmidt smashes it towards the D. Deflection comes through, and a penalty corner has been given to Austria. Lion Cachet can't believe it. He's arguing the point. There are no referrals at this level. Lungwana also can't believe it. They need to be careful here, South Africa, because they've just been spoken to by the umpires. It's a penalty corner. There's nothing they can do to change that.
Yeah, this ball's played in, bouncing. There it is. Oh. Again, careless on the defensive side. Keep your stick down. Take your stick out of the way, but leave your leg there. Asking for trouble.
There may be a case, but nothing they can do. Steidler and Binder at the top of the deep. It's Bender, and it's saved, but pushed in by Thornblom. Leon Thornblom has come onto the pitch, started on the bench due to having a fractured ankle, and he's put his side within 1. He's lifted them just by being on the park, and now he's got their second goal of the game.
Really good penalty corner, good save initially, but unprotected on that right post was the South African keeper in the form of Robert McKinley. Easiest of tap-ins for Austria. They come back to 3 goals to 2 down. So I said I'd like a second one from South Africa. They need 2 goals advantage at least. 3 possibly, to keep this Austrian side out, because 10 minutes is still a long way to go. 9 minutes 34 seconds.
Well, we're asking what Cedric D'Souza has up his sleeve. Liam Thornblom is what he had up his sleeve. Captain the side all through the tournament. As South Africa look for that extra goal, it's diffused. But Thornblom, regular feature in the senior men's team, and he's lifting his side here at the Under-21 Junior World Cup. Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup Men Lucknow 2016 still has a huge amount of twists and turns to unfold. Here's Makale for South Africa. Playing with 10 men. Ryan Crowe on the bench, serving a yellow card. D'Souza has served his 2-minute green card infringement. Here he is, D'Souza. Against his opposite number, Lindengrun. D'Souza, strong run from him. Courtney Harler. Back for Reed. Line Cachet, Bowron. Nice turn from Bowron. Is it back? Betho. Down looking for Ntuli. Used by Austria. And they win the foul. The possession. Boyesmeyer. 8 minutes remain in the second half of this match. So 8 minutes to play in the 9-12 classification match. Austria. Drew Sheepan. Now with Carlton Bott. As a man on the outer side of the turf. Really nice pass. He's found his man in Styra. Styra into the D. Really nice from Austria. Styra running out of room. Sheepan's battling hard. Decent work from McKinlay. Austria playing it back for Super. Has Binder. Binder down towards the corner. Austria through Clermont. Into the D they go again. Can't get things moving all that sweetly.
South Africa just need to be smart here, take their time coming out the back. There we go, Austria come forward again. McKinley equal to the task, smothered it well, and then just used his sizable bulk with all that goalkeeping pad on to get the ball out of the danger zone. South Africa just guilty of soft turnovers, cheap turnovers, allowing the Austrian counter-attacks, but they're forward again into the circle.
Yeah, Walter Pfaff has done some amazing things down that baseline in this tournament and almost creating for South Africa again. Working it around Mbete and Bulungwana. Bulungwana. Well broken up by Carlton Bott. Nice pieces of play, and he goes over the top. Sheepan using wonderful pace against Mbete. Needs support and he gets it. Thornblom into the D for Austria. Can they level proceeding? It's saved, but Sheepan's there. Nice by McKinlay. Advantage is played. McKinlay forced to save again. Lindengrun. McKinlay is under siege and they win the penalty corner. Thornblom asking a question, doesn't need much of an answer. They've won the penalty corner. McKinlay did just about all he could. He was under siege, about 4 or 5 shots.
A couple of good opportunities falling here for Austria. McKinlay equal to the task. There was one penalty corner. Here we go, second one. The shot comes in, and there's third penalty corner for a Windy Wolf. Just needed a little bit of composure. That's just tired legs from the South African defenders. Last 5 minutes, they've been their own enemies, their worst enemies for South Africa. Stepping up a little bit too high and too flat.
Binder and Styra. Binder can't quite get the handle. Wasn't trapped all that smoothly. Sheepan puts the ball into the goals, but the whistle had blown. Unlucky for Austria, but they have risen. They've caught South Africa napping on a couple of occasions. Julius playing it down towards the D. His blazer came flying out of his goal to try and smother Ntuli. Julie playing it back, Lamberte. Plenty happening here with less than 5 minutes remaining. Playing it for Bowron, who can't control the ball.
DC comes in. First flick attempt, charged down by the #1 runner. South Africa get control of the ball. Unlucky for Thornblom. Seemed to have stick tackled. Looked pretty clean from here.
Saying earlier in the half when Austria weren't really pushing South Africa, maybe they were just hoping to catch them with tired legs later in the game. That was the tactic. It's working. It's Thornblom. Plays it into the D. Worked its way through the congestion. Geez, hasn't Thornblom been immense since coming on?
For a man on one leg, it's been doubly immense.
And a man win the Man of the Match award, playing only a quarter of the game. It certainly changed things. But 3 minutes and 3/4 minutes remaining. Austria 2, South Africa 3. And Thule. Austria needs something. They open the scoring through Lindengrun. Goals for De Souza, Harler and Crow gave South Africa the 3-1 lead. Then Thornblom has trimmed it to 3-2. We saw the tense South African supporters watching on, hoping their side can hang on. And it feels like that's what they're doing at the moment, just hanging on. As Austria throw everything at them. Cedric De Souza trying to do everything he can from the Austrian bench. Here's Charlie Bowron. Has Julius, goes to Julius. Julius charging towards South Africa's D. Julius brings it in and Thule shoots. It's saved, but not on the second occasion. And Thule finally gets his goal. He's been threatening all tournament and he puts them 4-2 up to give them the win against Austria.
It's a really good bit of build out of the back. Started with the ball from Caroline Cachet up to Bowen in the middle. Opened up the space down the left-hand side. This is a good bit of skill. Little dink pass. And Thule with the early shot, paddling it off the goalkeeper. And then taking the rebound, knock it home calmly. That's a great bit of skill there. Just that little squeeze shot, commonly referred to as a dink.
Yeah, beautiful from Julius. Bumps it over. They celebrate. Look what it means to them as well. That's great to see. We touched briefly earlier. The difference for these sides between finishing 9th and 12th really does matter as they build towards the seniors. Here's Tevin Cock streaming down this right flank. Gets tangled up with Styra. Has to bring the ball back. So South Africa finishing with a flurry. They lead 4-2. Under 2 minutes remaining in this one. Latuka and Cock.
It's got to play smart, keep the ball down this bottom pocket, control the possession, get it in the corner. Keep working those free hits.
Cock. He's squeezed by Binder. Binder and Cock. Cock beats Binder. Garreth Ewing is a minute and a quarter away from South Africa's second win of the tournament. Tevin Cock just running rings around Austria at the moment. Tyler Remke will take it into the corner. Laid onto the foot, eating up valuable seconds. Confirmation of Ntuli's goal. Tevin Cock.
Tevin Cock or Teflon Cock. They can't get near him. He's a slippery individual, this lad.
He certainly showed a clean pair of heels and some wonderful skill with stick in hand. Setting me up here for the final 35 seconds. Isoli Kasuji. Austria towards the D. They got one last goal. Dulungwana has been immense for South Africa. Leading them all the way from start to finish, Tyson Dulungwana. Counting down. Austria 2, South Africa 4. So there it is. We count down towards the final whistle. The hooter sounds and South Africa beat Austria 4-2. Reward for effort for South Africa. They get their second win of the tournament and they beat Austria in the 9-12 classification game. Matthew De Souza, Courtney Harler Ntuli and Krogh, the goal scorers for South Africa. Alex Stewart happy to lead them in their win against Austria here. For Austria, Franz Lindengrun opened proceedings. He opened the scoring in its entirety. And then Leon Thornblom coming on after for Austria's second. We look at the highlights and the goals. Lindengrun's opener was immense. Worked his way down the left flank, controlled the aerial ball. Binder from deep within his own half. Lindengrun runs the better part of a half a pitch. Lindengrun tapping it along, aerials, 3D skills, buries the goal.
Really passive defence there by South Africa. Needed to step up and apply a bit more pressure, did there Courtney Haller, but Tyson Dlungwane, tremendous skill to eliminate 5 or 6 Austrian defenders on the way before beating the goalkeeper. 1, 2, 3, 4 there in one batch. 5 and the goalkeeper here, easiest of tap-ins for Matthew de Souza. Great three-dimensional skills, tremendous tenacity, fighting, getting onto the edge of that ball. South Africa took the lead there. 2-1 it was at that stage. It stayed that way for a long period of time. South Africa the better side. And then this absolute howler from Glasser. Falling backwards. Got a boot to it, but came off the inside of the left boot into the centre of the goals. You won't want to be watching that one back again on the replays tonight. Costly error for his team. Very simple goal for South Africa. They'll take the biscuits.
They finished really well. And Ntuli, it's a good shot. Krogh, that's the finish we're talking about. Really nice touch from Krogh. His third goal of the tournament. And Ntuli finally providing the assists that they were hoping for. He's threatened all tournament. Ryan Krogh able to bury that one. Gave them a bit of breathing space. And then Leon Thornblom, the super sub. Really accomplished finish from Thornblom. Nice first time shot, well saved, then Thornblom buries it into the boards. Never a doubt from Leon Thornblom, an accomplished senior representative for Austria and leader of this under-21 side. And Thornblom, great connection on the rebound. And at this point, South Africa were looking a little bit shaky. Austria throwing plenty at them late. Really great reaction from Leon Thornblom. Cedric de Souza knew they weren't far away, but Ryan Julius, a delightful ball over for Ntuli. Gets one shot away and then gets his first goal of the tournament. He's been threatening, and he is a prolific goal scorer at under 21 level. So here he is, Ntuli. First shot, second shot, goal. Julius was terrific. Watch this pass from Julius to Ntuli. Glaser did a reasonable job, but Ntuli was there. South Africa 4, Austria 2, and they get their win. Let's head down to the pitch for Munish Jolly, who has the presentation.
Welcome to the presentation arena. We had a wonderful game, South Africa, Austria. Eventually, South Africa were the winners. The FIH would like to thank the sponsors, Hero Motorcorp Limited, Politan, Adidas and Lobero as FIH Global Partner. And thank you to the host partner Lucknow and to the government of Uttar Pradesh for the presenting partnership of the Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup Men, Lucknow 2016. Our guest of honor today is Mr. Mehboob Ali, Cabinet Minister, Textile and Sericulture Industries, Economics and Statistics, and Minor Irrigation, Government of Uttar Pradesh. And he'll present the Man of the Match Award to Tyson Dlungwane of South Africa. Tyson, if I can have a chat with you. Tough game though, 1-0 down, victorious in the end.
Yeah, look, we came in with a plan and we executed well. I feel like we left some goals out there, but we've made history for our country and we've got one more step to go.
Having said that, it's a great team to play with. Austria came in and surprised everybody in this tournament. full marks to them for their achievements, for their performance also.
Yeah, no, credit to Austria. They're a flipping good team. We all know it was going to be tough, but it was more of the mental fitness that we needed, and we persevered through the end of the game.
Well then, enjoy your day, well played, and thanks so much for talking to us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, thanks.
And that's all we have from the presentation arena.
Well, thank you, Munish. South Africa, their best finish at this tournament was 11th in 2001. They've secured a better finish than that guaranteed. It's now a question of whether it will be 9th or 10th. 19 circle entries to Austria's 8. 7 shots on target, yielding 4 goals for South Africa. So a wonderful effort from South Africa here today. They get themselves a 4-2 win to secure their best ever finish at this tournament. Earlier today, Japan 1-0 winners against Egypt, and a couple of games still remain. New Zealand against Malaysia, the second of the 9 to 12 qualification matches, and then to round things off, Canada against Korea. Now let's take a look at the second half of the match between South Africa and Austria, in which South Africa secured themselves their best ever finish at the tournament. Finish, and Binder goes aerial again. Doesn't really work out for them. Lindengrun, the goal scorer, had no support.
Some Kiwi fans in the stands. They've travelled a long way. They wait patiently for the next game. New Zealand playing against Malaysia. That'll be a cracking encounter. It's all about this one.
Binder.
Coffee warm will.
Over the ball. Austria looking for the equaliser. Won't come here. Ryan Crowe tripped up. Munterkircher, the 18-year-old there, number 10. Like what we've seen from him. Not a big man, still growing into things. See the shirt